think that's in H major, I think. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Dan Shinder here in Globe, Arizona, 100 miles east of Phoenix, up in the mountains, here with Will Rowden, first time offender on Drum Talk TV, coming to us all the way from the south of England near Winchester. And he'll tell us his story, but basically, he sat behind a kit for the first time at 14 years old, and he instinctively put the right wheel of his wheelchair on the bass drum pedal and found that he could just kind of operate it like most other drummers do with their foot by rocking back and forth. We'll show you some videos. He's also a songwriter, composer, now 33. He's also worked with Cybernetic Sound, who design adaptations to help disabled musicians. Welcome, Will. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. First, before we show a couple videos, and I'll show one in just a moment, if you don't mind answering the question to kind of help start the story, why are you in a wheelchair?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's not even a cool story, or basically I was walking along 1 minute, pain in my neck, paralyzed the next. It was just a
Oh,
fluke.
wow.
Yeah, so it's not like I had a crazy motorbike accident or anything. It was literally a blood clot that formed in my spinal cord that just literally out of nowhere went whoop, and at the age of 8. So it was just literally as quickly as that. But in a way, I'm lucky that it happened when I was so young, because I adapted pretty quickly. And I work in a hydrotherapy center where I see lots of guys in wheelchairs who are paralyzed in their 30s and 40s, and that must suck because they've had a lot of life and it must hit them so much harder. So it happened when I was young. So, I adapted, and that's, shit happens.
And you also weren't driving or working heavy machinery or, up on a ladder, painting a house, anything dangerous.
No, it was just literally walking along. There was one thing that in the back of my mind, I think maybe that could have started it. I was doing a bit of BMXing and I fell off my bike. But I can't remember hitting my neck, but it was shortly after then that I had the pain in my neck. So it could have been that, but I don't know. It just was one of those things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly adapted well. I want to start off now. Thanks for that. I want to show everybody a short clip of one of your songs and you playing drums. This is called Cobwebs, and then we'll talk about your music. We'll talk about your influences. We'll talk about why drums and what your goals are and your other work with helping other disabled people with your amazing inspirational story. But first, folks, check this out. So cool. I notice you've got two hi-hats. One appears to be more looser and slushier, and the other one's tight. That's genius.
Yeah, so I basically keep the tight one fairly loose anyway. So if I want to add a little bit of sizzle, just hit it a bit harder, and then fully open, so I can kind of get the full range of the sounds of the hi-hat without even needing the foot thing, really. So
that's really cool. So why drums? What got you started?
Most people have asked me this. One guy who was actually a troll was like, "Dude, why did you choose drums? There's so many other instruments where you don't need feet." And I was like, "Well, not like, I mean."
You're like, wait, you need feet?
I mean, I did try the trumpet, the cornet. I used to play the cornet when I was in primary school, and it just didn't really excite me that much. And then I saw a drum teacher came to school and did this demonstration. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And that was when I was starting getting into, listening to bands like Incubus, and I heard Incubus's album Science for the first time, and I was like, wow, the drums really shone through, and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard. And then when I saw my friend's drum kit, I was like, I've got to give this a go. And I just sat behind it. I was like, and then, I heard this interview with Taylor Hawkins, and he said when he sat behind a drum kit, he could do a rock beat for the first time. And some people can and some people can't. And I've managed to, and I'm not bragging here, but you either have that hand coordination or you don't. And I did. So I was like, okay, I think this might be my instrument.
It just felt real intuitive and natural.
Yeah, it felt really intuitive and natural. So I took lessons after that and just, developed it from there. So
That's awesome.
And it's so fun as well. It's like the instrument that you can kind of get away without needing too much music theory, which is good because I hate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're able to also set it up however you want, unlike a cornet, unlike a saxophone, unlike a guitar or piano, all the bits are always in the exact same place. Whereas with drums, you can set it up ergonomically however it suits you, and you've been able to do that really well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's good fun and good exercise, and it's a good way to vent. It's great. I love it.
Great. You mentioned Taylor Hawkins, you mentioned Incubus. Who are some other drummer influences and bands that are musical influences as well?
So obviously, Jose Basilis from Incubus is my all-time favorite drummer. I think I'm a real fanboy. I bought all the DVDs of their live performances, and watching Jose Basilis's like the dynamics of the ghost notes on his snare. It's like the sticks are dancing, and it's so delicate. I was like, he just plays drums like it's an art, and it's beautiful to watch. So I'm really, really, really inspired by that. And also Chad Smith. I love the energy that Chad Smith brings. And again, I got his DVD. It's called Red Hot Rhythm Method, and this was back in the 90s. He had big, long frizzy hair, and he was so crazy in this DVD. It was so entertaining to watch. I was like, this guy is not only a drummer and a great drummer, but also just so entertaining to watch. And you can't help but feel like you want to go and get on your own kit and play, with the same enthusiasm that he does.
Yeah, it did the job. He inspires.
Yeah, he does. He does it so well. But what's interesting about Chad Smith is that on his albums, on the Chili Peppers albums, he plays very conservatively, which I actually respect because their songs are great songs. And if you're drumming too much or showing off too much, it can overtake the song. So he does it very, very, respectfully. He respects the songs. Yeah. And his talent comes out on their live shows when he really lets loose.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the way that he does that for the song. And another drummer is Stuart Copeland. I think Stuart Copeland is absolutely brilliant. And again, really entertaining to watch. And he, I think, is the police, he is the leader. Without Stuart Copeland, the police would not be the police.
Yeah. They'd be the security guards, and that's it. Or the parking maids, the parking maids.
Traffic wardens. I love the police, and I think most people that listen to the police are mainly there to listen to Stuart, doing.
Yeah, Sting has a great voice and his bass playing is great. Andy Summers has quite a recognizable guitar style, but Stewart's drumming, I think, is more signature of a sound than the other two. I really do.
Yeah, and there's a live clip of him playing "Message in a Bottle." It's when he's got his hair's not gray, it's blonde. So and he starts with this 4 flats, and it's just the most energetic performance. And I'm like, God, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Have you seen their reunion concert DVD?
No, I didn't know they did a reunion.
It's so good. It's from, I can't believe it's this long ago already. I think it was 2007, but it is so good. Their playing is so good. And when they play Wrapped Around My Finger, Stewart's kit is under the stage, or his kit is on the stage, but this giant percussion rig is under the stage. And as the song starts, it comes up, there's this 72-inch gong, all these Tibetan bells and triangles and things that he's playing. And it is so cool. But then there's a documentary about it too.
Okay. I have seen his house, and he's got all this crazy stuff around, and he's sometimes I'll just hit record in my house and I'll just go around hitting stuff, and he'll get inspired by just like hitting
Yeah.
around weird instruments. And I think that's really cool. And he also composes
Yeah.
orchestral.
Soundtracks and stuff,
Yeah,
orchestral,
he's
symphonic
yeah,
music.
really interesting guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a musician. You name a really interesting range of musicians, which is great. I think that if we only listen to the same type of drummers, there's only so much we can glean with them for our
Yeah.
toolbox. And I mean, I guess even if that's the only music someone plays, that's okay. But like if you look at, just for instance, well, Stewart, you mentioned, is this way also, but John Bonham is known for being a hard hitter or a basher, but you listen to things like Fool in the Rain, Since I've Been Loving You, Down by the Seaside, that have so much more delicate touches to them and things like that, that, you know, it's easy to stereotype a drummer when often there's so much more to their playing.
I didn't even hear John Bonham as a hard hitter, really. Now that there are other drummers since then that are harder hitters, I think John Bonham is maybe back in the 70s or whenever it was that he was considered a hard hitter. But to me, when I listen to him now, it's like he's just a great drummer, and it's yeah, he's just got a really unique style. And I try and play Good Times, Bad Times. That's John.
Oh yeah, the amazing.
That's like one of the greatest drum intros of all time. I still haven't mastered the verse because it's the kick drum is so like I can do the intro just about, but
I'm actually teaching one of my drum students that song right now, and I'm waiting to see if his foot's gonna survive or not.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Hey, I also want to comment. I want everyone to know that you also participated and got honorable mention in our Stuart Copeland drumming challenge in our membership site, Drum Talk TV Brilliance, which you folks got to check that out. It's drumtalktvbrilliance.com. And if you scroll down, you'll see the drumming challenges, all the past ones. And Stuart Copeland was the previous one. There's 2 going on right now, but Stuart was April. I have to think, what month are we in? Stuart was April, and you were part of that. But the first thing I noticed, I had seen you play, and we connected before then and got invited on the show. But the sound of your snare drum, what is up with how good it sounds? Is it a pancake snare? Is it like 4 inches?
It's a piccolo snare. So
it is a piccolo. Okay.
It's again just inspired by Jose Basilis and all that new metal kind of genre. So John Otto from Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, they all had really tight snares, which just like it just snaps, and I love that sound. And I think I've snapped a few skins just by cranking it up a little bit too tight, but it's sounding nice. So
I don't know how it'll translate on your laptop, but can you give it a couple cracks?
And also it's all about finding the rim shot as well.
Yeah, so, and it might even clip and we won't hear it. I don't know, but we heard your hi-hat, so I figure what the
heck. It's that kind of really nice sounding snare. Yeah.
Let's show them what that sounds like on another recording. We hear the room, so you're hearing one version, folks, there. Now on this recording, we'll play Starlight excerpt. It's a minute long. Here's what it sounds like recorded. It sounds so good. I love this snare. I might have to get one.
It's like a rose that's forever in bloom. That beam of light that could take on the moon. I know the pain you've been through, but you refuse to let it turn on you. Never once let me see the blues. Fight off the lows in ways that I can't do. Baby, she makes it all alright. She's got that magic starlight. Hey, she brightens even the darkest night. There's something about her just she gets it right. She brings new life into me like a lightning strike. Electrify my soul, my angel starlight.
So good. And
I've got to be carried away with the effects on TikTok.
No, it was great. And folks, if you missed the beginning, notice, I'm going to show another clip. Notice how Will is playing the bass drum. by rocking his wheelchair on the pedal. It's not only quite clever, but the level of dexterity you built up from doing that is actually amazing.
Thanks.
That's
Honestly, I
incredible.
think it could be something that is universal. I'm hoping that anyone that can do a wheelie should be able to do this method, because it's just about finding the center of gravity and just leaning forward.
Oh, I could do a wheelie, but I always end up on my back.
Well, when I learned how to do this, I was 14. So if any guys are doing it now in their 30s or whatever, make sure you got someone behind you, because I don't want anyone to, you know, get an injury.
Yeah.
In this method, because I was young, like
Absolutely.
I bounced. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the pop that the snare has. Let's watch another excerpt. This is January Blues that we're playing in May. Check it out.
Thought I killed enough brain cells, but the memory's not gone. 'Cause all I can think of is you. But all of these January blues always come away. As the sun shines through, I'm made to forget for our times. But there's one thing I can't seem to wipe from my mind. It's you. It's true, and I know that I should just remember all the times that were good. But I'd rather be cruel to be kind than goodbye to the memories and everything left behind.
So good. And folks, if you missed it in the beginning, this is all Will's original music too. Really catchy stuff. What are you working on now, and what are some of your other goals? And then we'll talk about cybernetics work that you've done with them.
So basically, I had about 2 years, fairly recently, that I was almost compulsively writing music. Like every day, I was just like just so determined, and I wrote about 3 albums worth of stuff. Some of it was new metal based, some of it was hip hop. Then I really wanted to write kind of just pop rock songs, because I've always been a huge admirer of like people like Robbie Williams, Oasis, Natalie Imbruglia Torn, I think is the best pop song ever written. I think if you can get a full arena to sing your songs,
Oh yeah,
you've done something magical. So
that's such a great
I was
point.
really
Yeah,
focusing on something like writing catchy hooks. But then I kind of felt a bit burnt out after a while. I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And I kind of reached a point where I was like, I feel mentally fried.
you emptied out so much.
Yeah, every time I sat at the piano, I was like, every chord sounds rubbish, you know. So I had a bit of a hiatus from it, and that's why I've been focusing on drumming. And so I've got, which is good, because I've got all these songs that I've written, and I can now take away the MIDI drums, which are electronic drums. I can take that out of the mix and practice doing live drums.
Right.
And I've learned that playing drums along to a track is actually really hard. So it's great practice to try and do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it was Cybernetic that approached you. When was that, and how did that relationship blossom, and what kind of work are you doing with them?
So lots of things happened when I started doing the TikTok videos, and I was, you know, churning out TikTok videos, trying to do it every day. And yeah, like people started, like even my logo that I end my TikTok videos with, that's some guy in Spain, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, I've done a logo for you. You can have it free." And I was like, "Thanks, man." And it's just,
Wow, how nice.
so this is like, it's kind of what it really opened up, this community of support of people just being like, and it really restored my faith in humanity of how many people just wanted to help, wanted to do, you know, do their bit. And so Sound reached out to me and was like, you know, we do this, are you interested? And I was like, you know what, it would be cool if this pedal idea could become a universal. And, you know, my prototype is not that good looking. It's I'm not the master of DIY, and so I've like used gaffer tape and a block of wood. So I was like, maybe if Cybernetic Sound could do something that looked good and was looked professional, we could get it on the market. And they contact me fairly recently, say they are continuing to work on it. So you know, it's in the pipeline, and it would be so cool if, you know, in the future you could go to a drum shop, and instead of just drum pedals, there's also a section that's like drum pedals for wheelchair users, and there's this,
Right.
that, and that's kind of the dream. That would be really, really exciting to see happen.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit more about their work for context so people know what they do and understand a little bit more about your relationship with them.
Okay, so basically, I had a sort of a meeting with them on Skype, and they do all sorts. They one of the guys that works there, he lost an arm in, I can't remember, there was yeah, I think it was a fire, and he had to have his arm amputated, and so he had a, I think it was like a robotic arm built for him, and so he got the inspiration to then start getting into robotics and helping other people, and they're just really nice guys, and they're all non-profit, so they're just really nice guys that just want to help people like me out get into music. And I was like, because I've always never really thought that there was any support to get people who are disabled into music, because when I first got paralyzed, everyone's like, join a wheelchair basketball club, join a wheelchair rugby club. It's all sport, and I'm not a sporty guy. I hate sports, and there was no one ever said, you know, you could play drums, you could get into music. And when you see like gigs in Reading or Glastonbury or whatever, you know, there's never any people in wheelchairs on those stages. So I think it'd be really cool to try and to you know, bring it more into the mainstream and make it more inclusive. And yeah, Cybernetic Sound are a great place to start, and they're doing some really great stuff. So yeah,
That's great. So you're referring to the young man, I say young man because I'm older, the gentleman you're referring to who lost his arm is his nickname is the cyborg, right?
the what? Sorry,
The cyborg drummer.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you know him, don't you? You know this
Yeah,
guy?
yes. He lost his arm in an industrial electrocution accident.
That was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely
And
guy, and
yeah, and are you familiar with Can Do Musos?
yes, I am actually now. I've got a little profile with those guys, and
Oh, great.
Andrew, is it?
Yeah.
He messaged me today, and he's saying, yeah, good luck with the interview and everything. And
Oh, that's great.
so yeah, that's
Yeah,
another.
Joe Hardy. Do you know Joe?
Possibly. I've had
Joe's
so
a good friend. He's a drummer with no legs, plays in a wheelchair, had a special kit made for him
Okay, yeah.
that he can actually drive. Like it's a
Yeah.
scooter kit that he can drive around. It's really cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
I drive. I've got hand controls on the car, so like adaptations are a thing. But I never believed that there was so much support for adaptations in music. I was like, music's one of those things where only the cool looking people can do. But like, no, there's loads of people in wheelchairs doing it, and I've actually seen loads of incredible drummers doing amazing things. You know. But the thing that I'm surprised about is that no one's tried to do the wheelchair thing, because whenever I like see, because dustbins or trash cans, as you Americans call them, they've all got
Right.
pedals now. So whenever I want to put anything in a bin or a trash can, I always just put my front wheel on it and it lifts up. So that's how I do that. And so that same technique transfers to pedals. But what a lot of these drummers do, they use triggers or they use floor toms, which works great, but you are limited in a way that you can't do.
Right.
You can't go snare, crash, kick, because that's
Right.
too many limbs. So I think it would really improve these talented drummers if they could give this a go. And what the TikTok thing was great, because like 2 people now have taken my design and given it a go, and I haven't heard. I hope they're okay, and I hope they haven't had
Wow.
yeah, 2 people now have taken my design and doing it themselves, which is really great.
Wow, that's great. Well, it's people like you and Jason Barnes, who is the cyborg drummer,
Yeah.
and you know the other folks connected to Can Do Musos, who was co-founded by the late great Dom Famularo. You know, it's people like you that are so inspiring, and especially if someone has something, whether it's a disability from birth or something from an accident or something like what you had, it gives them, I mean, it sounds like such a cliche to say it gives them hope, but it does, and it shows them, look, you literally can become a drummer, or you could still play, you know, whatever instrument you want to play.
And rather
Yeah.
selfishly, I've been drumming like this for 15 years without showing anyone, and I feel a bit bad about it, because I could have been doing this 15 years ago. But it was only recently I was like, maybe I could actually.
Well, look at it this way: the tools are better now. It's easier for you to blow it up and show
Yeah,
everybody what you
At the time, I was just, I just didn't think anything of it. I was just doing
Yeah.
it.
So
But then,
what's next for you? What are you working on now? Are you working on new
I'm
music?
just working on becoming a better drummer. Really, I've got all this catalog of songs I'm going to try and perform live to. So I'm going to just keep doing that. I'm hoping that my creative spark will come back and I can get back into songwriting. A part of me wants to go back and revisit a lot of my songs and do better vocals for it. So I'm not the best singer in the world, but I have got. I think I can sing better now.
I think it sounds great. It fits the music. We'll show the first clip again in a moment for those who might have missed the beginning. Yeah. And you mentioned, or I mentioned, we were talking about drumming before we went live. And I said, yeah, I've been playing 55 years and I should be a lot better. And you mentioned working at getting better at drumming. It's a never ending journey, or it could be a never ending journey, because there's always so much to learn, so much to get better. And someone like me, I don't practice. I don't like work on my craft. I play for fun. I play on the show. Once in a while, I get asked to sit in on something. Someone sent me an album that I'm on that I didn't even know they were turning into an album on Bandcamp, something I played a gig at like 4 months ago, and they made a live album out of it. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I don't even remember what we played. I'm going to listen. I'm going to buy it just so I can hear it. And it's the bottom line. What I'm getting at is, there's always so much to learn. We should never rate or grade ourselves just to rate or grade ourselves. It's okay to measure progress, but play for fun. Always remember, no matter what instrument you play, everybody, why you started, and always make it fun. And you know what? That's why I did not succeed at joining marching band in high school. It just wasn't fun for me. And after 2 months, I told my parents, I said, I want to quit marching band and just go back into physical ed. And they're like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, it's just not fun. They're like, okay. And then that was that. But
yeah, I mean, there's so many drummers out there that like, have you know this kid called Nandi Bushell?
yeah. Oh yeah. I've had her on when she was like 8.
And she is a prodigy. Like the latest thing she did was the Whiplash, that film Whiplash. She did the entire solo, like with sheet music and everything, and absolutely nailed it. And she's like 15 years old. It's so amazing, but also a little bit depressing in a way. So I'm like, oh God, if I had dedicated myself as much as she's done, it would be, I'd be a better drummer. But I just can't bring myself to do that level of dedication. But I really admire people that do. But no, I just drum for fun, and I think it's a really just a great way to. It's good for the soul, it's good for the mind, it's good for everything. So I think there are people out there that want to dedicate themselves to learning all the time signatures and doing that, and that's great. But for me, it's just a way to have fun, and if it inspires other people to have fun as well, then that's what matters, and that's what we're going to do.
I'm probably the what's the word? The epitome of someone who doesn't play enough. I have a nice studio with 2 drum sets set up. I have technically 3 other drum sets not set up. A big sound system. I don't wear headphones or inner monitors. I just make it windy in there with a big fat PA. But I don't play every day. And I played last night for the first time in like 2 weeks, because on Monday is the anniversary of the passing of Alan White of Yes, who one of my biggest influences. He was a friend. I met him in November of 1989. And so I thought, I want to do a live show paying tribute to Alan on Monday. So I think I'll go down and wipe off some rust.
Yeah.
And I played
rust after a while. You're like, oh God, how do I do it? How do I do
right,
it?
exactly. Luckily, these songs I've known so long that they're just sort of like tattooed on my brain. I played Yours Is No Disgrace from the Ladder tour, the House of Yes DVD. I played the 1978 live version of Future Times Rejoice. And then I went all out and played the live version of Awaken, and just had so much fun. It was great. So I'm looking forward to doing that on Monday. But I need, my wife's always on me. Got to make more time to play. Got to make more time to play. Because she notices when I play, I'm just sort of like have a better disposition. Get your endorphins going, and
it's good. It's really good. And I actually, one of the things that you said when you say what are my goals, I would love to form a band. I've been trying to form a band for like 3 years, but I live out in the middle of nowhere, like literally like there's there is just fields surrounding my house for miles. So it's so difficult to get musicians that have a driving license and are local and also like the same music. Like I've met like 7 or 8 people in the past year. Now, one of them was like, "Oh, my biggest influence is Ramstein." I was like, immediately, we're not going to get on like that. And there's so many of them that don't have driving licenses. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're 25 years old. Get a car.
That's funny.
So it's been tough, man. But I would love to form a band, and I'd love to get playing live again.
Cool. Well, now you have the means to put the word out and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And if I can't do that, I'll just carry on doing it myself because I can.
Yeah, you're
kind
doing it.
Kind of doing it all. So anyway.
Yeah, in fact, let's play that first clip again, folks. This is Cobwebs. Check this out. And you'll see the logo that Will was referring to at the end of this one. I think it's at the end of this one. Was it the end?
Yeah, it is at the end of this. I'll try and find out who it is so I can give him a shout out.
Cool. Check this out, folks.
You say that I'm way too impulsive. Well, you might just have a point. But I can't watch my life being wasted. I wasn't comfortable and I've done weekends, and I wanna see the world before it ends. You're suffocating me, and I'm pretty sure I'm suffocating you too. There's cobwebs, with or without you. I'll clamber out this rut I'm in, and change my life into something new. And I can't watch any more series, 'cause they're all just the same old shit. And no, I don't want to go to your auntie's thing. I see the time I'm wasting, got complacent, just can't let myself stop.
That was awesome. And shout out to Virgil Owens, one of the people that chimed in. He's out in Fontana, California. I know exactly where that is, being from Los Angeles originally. Very cool. So did you find out who did that logo for you at the end?
I did. His name is Nick Pchyolkin. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but it's that guy there.
Spell that again. How do you spell that?
Nick, can you see that? No.
Barely, yeah. Only because the screen's. It went away.
So it's Nick Pchyolkin, and he just designed that logo free of charge. And I was like,
very cool. It's great too.
It's cool, isn't it? Because it's like that's how I do it. It's all about rocking forward. So,
well, now I have the most important question of the day. Are you ready?
Shoot.
This is what we call the Will Rowden Fun Fact segment.
Okay.
What do you like to do when you're doing something you like to do completely away from music, not listening to music, not writing music, not recording music, not rehearsing music, not playing music, not designing pedals, something completely away from music? What do you like to do?
A quick fire answer. I bought myself a fishing boat. And
wow.
That is my life and my money pit. It's costing me a lot of money, but I absolutely adore it. It's the summer now, so every weekend I'm just going down to the boat and taking it out and doing some fishing. It's just
that's great. I'm going fishing on Wednesday with a good friend and one of our business partners. I live at about 3,750 feet up in elevation in the mountains. It's a small community, but where we go is another 2 hours from here. We're at like 8,500 feet. I've seen snow up there in May. Wow. And you see eagles and hawks and blue herons, blue herons, they're called, the birds. We fish off the banks. Yeah. But I see people go through our town all the time with boats because there's another lake about 40 minutes from us, but it's too hot for us to go there now. And it's like, I want a boat. I want a boat. I want a boat. Yeah. And my wife says, well, that's nice, but there's these other 40 things on this list first. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. If you get a boat, you have to just accept you're going to be poor forever. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
we have a big pickup truck. So my friend Norm and I loaded up with food for the day and all our fishing gear, and chairs, and it's a lot of fun. It's
What fish do you go after? What kind of fish do you catch?
we catch mostly if we catch. I call it fishing. Norm calls it throwing a bunch of metal in the lake.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
sometimes freshwater bass and a lot of rainbow trout and tiger trout. And there's in another lake, there's crappie and sometimes grouper, but mostly the trout is the most popular one. Yeah.
You get to eat that as well, or is it?
I don't. We throw them back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can, but we throw them back. Yeah.
Fair enough. You ruin a fish's day and then you put it back. That's it.
Now I'm gonna catch so much crap for that. No, I think we make their day by throwing them back.
You probably do. Unlike me, I catch it and stab it in the head and take it home and put it on the barbecue.
Yeah, we don't do that. But we what was I gonna say? We sometimes will go for a whole day. We leave at like 4:30, 5 in the morning. We don't get back for 12 hours and don't catch a thing. And it's like they say, the worst day of fishing is better than the best day of work. You know, it's just so nice to be out there
on the water. There's like a sense of freedom that is, you don't get anywhere else. It's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. Thanks for that. That is the Will Rowden Fun Fact segment. We'll have to stay in touch and do this again and stay up to date with everything you're doing. Folks, you could check out his Stuart Copeland Drumming Challenge submission if you go to drumtalktvbrilliance.com. You can become a free member as well and check out everything that's there. And Will stay on the line with me after we disconnect the live feed. Folks, I want to thank you for joining Will and myself, Dan, here on Drum Talk TV. Lots of fun stuff coming. I can't believe we're winding down May and have a lot of neat things coming. So stay on board with us, and we'll see you all very soon. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon.